In this video I actually have a flip clock, a rather weird looking one. The Astor Australian brand. Quite a cool looking unit. This is one I got off eBay just because I thought it looks really cool. What is it, an MF029. Oh, it's got another label there. So this I guess is the early 70s or something, when Astor was still a brand. I think they got taken over by Philips, did they? Was it Astor? I think it was. That might have been even a little bit earlier. But Gough Whitlam's taken away the tariffs, certainly would have killed the company off probably by the mid-70s or something. And that's right, it's got this stand on it. I think I nearly threw that out because I didn't realise that was in the packaging somewhere. And I can't remember what was wrong with it, but I think the clock doesn't turn on this one. It's been lying around for ages. I've been meaning to have a go at it. I think I got the instruction book for it somewhere as well. Let's turn it on. Oh, I better apply some power to the bench. Oh, that's rotating. But it doesn't mean the clock's actually running. Oh, the radio's lit up. Jeez, it's making a funny noise, that motor. Whirring and... what are we on? 259. I can hear something clicking. How do we turn the radio on? Oh, okay, we've got on, off, auto, alarm. Whoa. Imagine that waking you out of your sleep. At least it didn't come on quietly. Time adjust, time set, sleep, earphone. Oh, that's volume. Not doing much. Oh, there's a station. Not very loud. Oh, it's actually got a dimmer on the dial lamp. That's something I've never seen before. I think one of them's blown by the look of it. That end doesn't light up the best, but that's a cool idea for something that's potentially next to your bed. There's a tone. Something there, but yeah, not very loud, but maybe that's because... what are we using as an antenna on this thing? Because I'm in the garage. Let's get a antenna lead somewhere near it at least. This sounds a bit better. That's ZL. Should be something there. Yeah, surprisingly quiet. HO no longer exists. ZR still there. Oh well, enough of messing around with that. Oh, we're now at 2:05. What time did I say it was before? I thought it was like 2:49 or something. Yeah, that just flicked to 2:07. Well, at least I can show you that. Well, it might kind of work, but it won't flip over, I don't think, with it facing upwards. So it is basically working. I guess we're going to have to try and prise some of these knobs off and get it apart, see if that radio is working 100%. Yeah, the fact is it doesn't have frequencies, it still has all the old states and their AM radio stations. Looks like no FM, so it's not particularly new. I thought that actually unclipped or something, but maybe not. But probably a good thing they did unscrew it or whatever when they sent it, because you don't want to get that broken in transit. Nothing it really covered up other than probably a couple of clock mech screws. Yeah, this will make quite a nice little display piece, this thing. It's certainly a interesting design. Not sure I'm doing the right thing here, but they're like, what are these, wood screws? Basically close to it. Or maybe they are the ones. I reckon they were the ones I should have undone, not the... well, that one must come out, so it must be these four. I reckon that is four to hold the clock mech in place. Let's just check. I think that top knob's going to have to go. Oh, it does just pull off nicely. And oh no, the sides have got to come as well. Oh, that came off nicely, thank God. This is a dual piece. Bit yellowed, but otherwise, at least they came apart. Got a bit of a shaft sticking out there. I'd have to take, it looks like I might have to do the whole radio ones as well. This whole dial thing looks like it's peeling loose. How do we get it past that side? You just got to tilt it. We've got a Japan speaker, and yeah, that's somewhat coming loose. That would have been glued down. It's in quite good condition, which is good to see. 10 volt, 240 volt, 8.6 volt, even a fuse in it. I wonder if this is just a copal mech or something. It is Japan copal, no jewels. That's a bit stingy. Gotta be careful that doesn't drop and hit something. Oh, you've got 2 lamps in the dial there. So even back then, it's probably likely a fully Japanese made unit. Looking at that transformer, looks very much like a Japanese with the voltages on it. We got Mitsumi. Yeah, Mitsumi Electric Co. Model PVC LX201. And a nice Japanese symbol. Looks a lot like the National Panasonic one or something. A circle with a couple of lightning bolts and a few symbols. That's the tuning capacitor. What sort of caps we got? Illness or something? Oh, something TOWA. Or is it just TOWA? Yeah, TOWA caps. I don't remember that brand. Stanley. Is that a capacitor or something? No, I actually got a 2N transistor though. That's a bit of a non-Japanese thing. Normally 2N4033. Don't think I've ever heard of that with a heatsink there. That's a bit random. So I've got 2 lamps that are all tied up. Probably going to go over to these terminals here somewhere by the look of it. We've got 8.6 volt and 10 volt. That's a bit random. I wonder if we got some caps out or something, or is this just, like I say, lacking... Well, let's hook it back up again. Lacking AM signal. Makes a little louder, but it, maybe. Yeah, when I grab it, ugh. That's a bit better. Dodgy pot, I think. Oh, that motor's going a bit. It just slowed down and sped up again. Oh, God. There's HT. Man.
Just about all set to go for this second inning. Victory. Countdown is on.
Yeah, I suspect this motor might be a little dicky. It certainly makes some weird noises. I'm not sure what we got here, but whatever that pattern is, it's well and truly worn off now. Someone's had a bit of a spiral or something going. I could see something through that little window, but yeah, looking at it now, it's not in the best condition. It's all disintegrated, which is a bit of a shame. And we do have a neon light under there to light it up. Probably not the brightest, but they normally aren't. See, look at that. She's a bit slow to get going there. What is it? A Copel GC 1378 motor. 10 volt AC. What? 10 volt AC 50 hertz. 150 milliamps. So the motor runs off 10 volts. Yeah, it does say that. 50 hertz AC 10 volt. Don't think I've ever seen a low voltage one before. They normally just run off the mains. Yeah, weird. Made in Japan, so a Copel low voltage motor. That is a new one. Not that I've ever took a lot of notice of these things, but these were largely obsolete when I was young and there was lots of these things lying around. So I never really touched them. Generally they went for years anyway. But you did see a few second-hand ones around. I think I've pulled a few apart just to see what how all the numbers were held in there and whatever, and then chucked them away and never really took much notice of them. But yeah, what an interesting design. Doesn't have anything on it to indicate who made this thing. Doesn't look like it. So it's the 8.6 volt what runs the lamps. Can I get these out without making too much mess of things? Because they're glued in to make life difficult. Don't think they want to come out of that rubber bit. I guess I've got to be very careful of the pointer. Oh, these are actually, they just pop out. I'm not sure we're going to have room to slide it out. We probably could go sideways, I guess. They've got those little plastic things, just got to be careful you don't scrape the dial plastic. At least not anywhere visible. Jeez, they're tight, these things. Might have been better pushing from behind, but at least this is made in Japan, so the plastic should be reasonable quality. Why are we stuck? Is there glue or something on there? Yeah, there is. I think when they were glued, oh, watch me dial pointer. When they glued the back bit on, they've managed to get glue on this thing. So do our lamps pull out this way? They don't do that either. But it's a big piece of rubber on there, so I don't think they're meant to come out through the back. They're meant to go, oh, of course that held that bit on too, didn't it? Probably should put those little things in. That should push out. Oh, the lamp's coming now, finally. And we bent our little pointer a little bit. Well, we won't fix that until, I guess what I need to do, well, double check that is blown. Oh no, they're not blown. Huh, good thing I checked then. Why did that, unless I wonder if I've fixed it temporarily by moving the filament around. Yeah, now that's lit up. It wasn't before. Oh, don't you hate these intermittent things? Touch the thing and it comes good. Yeah. Well, that's rather weird. It doesn't want to play up either. Well, I guess we could put it back together. That'll make it play up. Whether it's worth actually repairing it anyway, I was going to check what voltage, but Let's put it all back together and see if it stops working. Anyway, at least I know how it comes out and what sort of size it is. Looks like a 5mm lamp. So I can always cut the wires off the back anyway and check if I've got one. Because you assume it's coming off that 8.6 volts or something. I wonder if it is an 8-volt lamp, because the Japanese like their 8-volt lamps for some reason. No, it seems to be lit up alright. Definitely better than it was. And the motor is stalled, it's just starting to move. So that definitely needs a bit of a lube. And yeah, making awful noises, whoops. Really need to disconnect this speaker, I think. So now, the flip clock fans, try saying that fast. Normally put some lube, I think even just in this back bit of this motor, which we can't really get to easily. I might see if I can take the end off it. I'm not really familiar with this motor, so what I might even do is let's loosen it off so we can get better access to it. I would at least like that to start up every time reliably. Because I had a feeling this was sold with a folded clock. Maybe just sitting around it's decided to work again, but so that neon's coming off the 240 volts, or should be. Can we bend that up and get that out of there? The glass little teat comes at the end, so that'll give us a bit more room. Oh, there's two of those transistors in there I can now see. So two output transistors. I can't help suspecting we've got dodgy caps in there. But maybe that's as loud as it goes. Can we measure these from the outside without having to take the whole board out? Possibly. I prefer if I don't have to recap it. What's that at 0.47, so that's a low value anyway. It's probably about right. 10. 4.9 for a 1 mic, that's probably good. Should be, I would think. And I can't get to that one. Is that lead in some diagonal position or something? Sort of. Let's open circuit. There it is. Or not. That should be measuring pretty low, I think. Yeah, 1.9, 33 mic, that's pretty good. So that little bunch of capacitors, which are the closest to the heat, seem alright. Can't really get to those. Chances are they're all good. Though I guess I could have a filter cap out here or something. Can I get to that? I think I'm touching the cord. The lead, yeah, 0.03. Oh, wait up. 0.24. Yeah, I think we'll call them good. Let's see, without breaking the neon, if we can. Gee, that's tight. Where's the nut drive up? It's a 5.5. Man. Oh, that is tight. Just got to be careful where you put your fingers as you try and turn it and not press on the clock neck, as in the flip bits. There we go. Come on, wash up. Oh. Still there, good. Yeah, this is the more familiar looking thing. Yeah, normally the flip clock fans channel just, I think, puts a bit of cotton wool soaked in oil there and drops it down. Oh, this whole motor's free anyway by the look of it. Oh, well, let's have a bit of a look at it. That loosens that wire off at least. Because I think I once actually pulled the bit different to this. I did unrivet something on some clock. Oh yeah, probably those rivets you see there. I think you can pull the whole panel in there and all the gears come loose. I think I actually went that far once when I did one, because someone actually wanted one fixed when I was an apprentice at a place I was working. So, and I just lubed it up in there and that fixed it. Copel Japan 2. So let's try. The idea is to get a well soaked cotton bud. I certainly prefer this method. I think you just poke it through the hole a bit and hope it runs down the inside. Maybe we need a bit more than that. I guess it'll start spraying oil out if it gets too much. Yeah, that's a bit better. That's running definitely down the outside. So if it's doing the same on the inside, sometimes you can pull them back and forwards a little bit. I think these motors, yeah, there's a little bit of play. Not sure it's made any real difference, but whether I'll feel it, because we are turning a lot of gears in there. Oh, good thing about this is it's not high voltage, so I can turn this on. It started on its own, so it's a good sign, but was it because I was just fiddling with it? Yeah, 10 volts, that's certainly one of the weirder things I've ever seen. I think that's the gears making that noise. It's not going to be a smooth turning kind of motor. Hopefully if we've got enough to go down the outside, we've got enough to go down the inside. Surprised this works, but no. Still a bit slow to get going there. Let's try it again. Let's flick that drip off there, but try and get some. It's certainly running down the outside. Oh yeah, we've got it just about to come off the other side. Possibly better. It's very hard to tell. That's better. But I did that once before, so maybe it depends where it stops. So you'd expect it to stop in a bad spot every time, because that would be the highest friction. A little hesitant. And of course we don't have a load on it, but I don't think that really matters, because that is so far geared down on that gear that it might as well not be there at all, I think, for starting purposes. Oh, not happy. but maybe that needs to soak in a bit more or something. What I might do is just give that another good wet load of oil, which is running down the outside, so we know there's plenty got in there in theory, and I might just leave it, let it sit a bit, like overnight. And there's oil oozing out there, so it should probably start coming out the other side eventually if it gets all the way across. Let's try and get that directly above the shaft. Fingers crossed. Stop moving. That's it. Let's leave it like that and see what happens. Not sure if that'll be in focus or not, but there's your copal number. Don't know if that's a particular mech or what the story is with that. Okay, let's power this up again and see if it actually runs. It's been sitting here a couple of days, I think. I don't think it matters if that motor's up against the screw thing there. Oh, it started up alright, so that's a good sign that it's soaked in. Pays to try it from a few different positions. Sometimes they stop in a bit of a dead spot or something. Now it seems to be good. I think we fixed it. So the soaking the oil in method seems to work. Excellent, so that means I don't have to pull it all to bits or anything. Got it turned off. So I should be able to put all this back together. That gear just meshes in with another gear. And yeah, shame that we've lost our little label there, but still it looks good enough when it's spinning at speed, I think. I didn't even realise at first that label was damaged from when the thing was together, so maybe it doesn't look too bad at speed. As long as you can see something's moving is the idea, just so you know your clock's actually running. I guess the idea was if you woke up in the middle of the night, since it's not a lit up clock, although it does have a neon in it, but you'd know that the time was actually correct because the clock was running. You could see it running from the movement. Because of course with a mechanical clock like this, you don't know if the thing's actually running or not. It doesn't have a second hand like a proper analog clock, and obviously nothing is lit up. I guess in the daytime you don't really see the neon anyway because they're not that bright, so they had to have some sort of indicator built in so that people could actually tell the clock was working. Because of course if you had to catch a plane or something, it's not much good if the power's gone off and you haven't realised it, or some other problem, the kids turn the clock off to plug in something else or something, and suddenly you realise that it's been 2 o'clock for quite a while and you've just missed your flight because the clock stopped for whatever reason. So that's the idea of that, and it's just convenient that they have a part spinning at a good speed there. So just put a bit of a marking on it and that solves that problem. And I think I decided the radio probably is working alright. The caps seem to measure okay. It's just, yeah, not very good reception here and no external antenna, which is what's kind of needed here. So I think we can put this thing back together and hopefully it's fixed. And I'll see if I can find the manual. I think I've scanned it into the computer because I wouldn't have a clue where the paper version is. So I can put a copy of that. I don't know if it's the manual or the sales, but it might have been the sales brochure. Anyway, yeah, I think it was the sales brochure, not manual. Anyway, I'll try and find that and put it on the end of the video as well. because it's kind of an interesting old thing. Oh no, my speaker wires come off, I just noticed. Don't know why that attracted my eye, but for some reason I was drawn to that, and must have been the old technician in me kicking in and sort of inspecting things like that, or maybe the wire hanging off somehow caught my peripheral vision, because that's something you got to watch when you're messing around with these things, that these wires will break off very easily. Other one feels pretty solid, so just that one I think is a bit, might have been a bit weak for some reason. Now let's turn it on. Yep, spinning up. Neon's running, we're on 211. Let's see if it clicks over, and then you've really got to run it, well, probably for 24 hours is a good thing to do. Make sure the thing actually keeps time, because it's always possible something mechanically is out there somewhere still. But definitely give them a good long test run, these sort of things. Hopefully the radio is turned off. I should really turn off the power, but oh, no, it's actually on. And I should have been a bit more careful where I put the solder, but this is only a 10 volt motor, so shouldn't be any live stuff here. Even that switch I think is low voltage, but don't quote me on that. Oh, and we did bend the and that lamp's still running too, that's another thing. I did slightly bend that dial pointer getting the display off.
It was for 5 days out from travel and 7 days from completion.
Yeah, that's working fine I think.
At any point did you think, okay, I can't do any invitation?
Yeah, just clicked over.
I didn't, no, but my not only
It doesn't seem to pick up the ABCs. What is it, 7LA, 7ZL? Yeah, that doesn't seem to be at the bottom of the band there, so it could have an issue with the radio. Normally you can pick it up at least somewhat. What have they done with the cord here? Just shoved it through a little bit here. Yeah, not that, I guess it gets clamped by the case a bit. But yeah, it doesn't seem like the greatest design. Just flicked over another minute. Oh, we've got to remove our knobs. Oh, and I did look this up on the Radio Museum, or at least it came up with a slightly different model. I think it's got a letter or two after the model number. So there is actually another version of this which has FM radio. I think they get rid of the dimmer switch, change that to AM, FM and AGC or something. And the service manual for that one has, you know, it's literally a Philips service manual, the usual blue Philips writing and all the rest on it. That's just the clock making that noise. I thought something was loose in there. So yeah, literally in the Philips era, the service manual does not hide any of that. Now, the other screws are for the putting the base back on, so it is definitely a Philips product, though imported, as Philips Australia did with a lot of stuff. They just imported them from Japan. And yeah, like with the TVs and stuff, we've looked at the rebadged sharps and stuff, and who knows who made this clock. I don't know did Copel actually make clock radios? Yeah, I think they did. The word Copel branded, so I never know. It could be a genuine Copel device. I think they did go as far as Yeah, were there any other screws in those other holes? I think that's it. No, then we've got one hole there. I don't know if I took a screw out of that or not, but we think it only had, there's only 3 screws for the base by the look of it, and I've got 4, so that must be that longer one there, must have gone in the case there. It's the problem when you leave it a few days. But yeah, I like the way it lights up. You're over to 214, you can see that thing running, so that's the main thing, is that it is showing movement there. But a lot of them used to have like a diagonal lines or whatever, sort of, how did it go? Oh, they went diagonal lines across the face, I think, so it had a sort of twirly effect as that went past. Yeah, what do we got? That's the clock. That's one of these went on top. Must be that little one, I think. Is that the one on top? Hopefully. Oh, this is the, I think we're in the on mode. Let's make a little bit more noise than for some reason. Be careful we don't crack the thing, because that's it. I think that, does that go a particular way? Yeah, that motor does make a little bit of noise when I tilt it certain ways. Weird. The tuning doesn't matter. These other, tuning is the one without the dot on it. Dimmer, I don't know if it matters where it points. Ooh, let's see, do they all have dots on these? Yeah. So I guess so they can make the cases all the same, they put a dimmer in maybe on some models that didn't have the FM radio. But yeah, it looks basically identical, of course, but that is labelled AM, FM or whatever, and some other setting, I think AGC for the FM or something.
Yeah, amazing. He really puts masters on the stage.
Yes. Will you have the chance to have another crack at a deadlift in a couple of weeks?
Not for a max, no. No, unfortunately. And in natural strongman, they don't.
But that lights up quite nicely. Let's shut that up. Little dimmer at the ends, but at least that second lamp was going. It was all sort of blacked out on one end before, so I won't bother replacing that since it's decided to work again. And there it goes, making a bit of a funny noise again. And yeah, there's a little bit of muck on there. I think that'll come off, or is that scratches? Yeah, a few marks. Might even use a bit of metho on that seat, because this should be just raw plastic. Hopefully we can rub those worst of them off. There are a few scratches holding some of that dirt, but that should clean up half decent, I think. It's a little yellowed. That knob's definitely copped it from the sun. Yeah, quite a cool design. I don't know, you meant to, oops, that's gone a bit white. Maybe that came off the rest of it. Where you sort of meant to look at it on an angle like that, potentially, like so. Can't really see the clock like that, so I guess not. Yeah, you can only sort of see, I can see 220 and that's it, can't see how many minutes. Yeah, certainly a cool design. Much more interesting than the usual looking thing. Since almost all clock radios look exactly the same. I think I might put this one on display somewhere. I've been meaning to get onto it for ages. I think it's been sitting there for a couple of years. And I finally found it again, cleaning up some stuff, and thought I must finish that off. But that's so far keeping time about right. It's actually only 1 minute ahead of the clock here, though. That's at 9 o'clock. 9:23 it's saying. And I probably should have actually cleaned the inside out of that now that I look at it. It does have the slightest bit of dirt on there. And who told you to start talking again? And does that alarm... it does. You can adjust the volume, but not right down. I guess that makes sense because you don't want people to turn the volume down and lose it. But we'll unplug that now. I'll put the bass back on it. That went under there as the little... oh, does it need... oh, is that the idea? Oh, I guess that's the idea. Is it meant to... just think of why does it need a slipping bit of plastic? This thing must be meant to rotate. I've never actually took much notice of the stand. I say I almost had the box ready to go to the dump for the recycling when I realised that there was a piece missing. Because they took it off and packed it separately, so... not a good idea with boxes from eBay. The boombox I bought recently did look like it was meant to come with a cord, and I don't think I got the cord with it because it probably went with the box. I probably just thought it was full of paper and it was cardboard, so I can just go in the recycling. So someone's going to get a bit of bonus copper in their cardboard recycling, I think. So it's usually best to attach things when you pack them up so that people can actually find them. But yeah, is that the idea? Someone said, oh, that must have been when it was taped up for the... and they sent it maybe. Someone's put a little cross on there with a pen. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, it's tape glue all over it. Oops, we move that. Try and get that lined up. So yeah, that's what I'm guessing. This thing is meant to be swiveled between clock and radio, maybe. Or have the ability to do that. I guess these rubber feet. Can't imagine it's got enough weight to hold the base down, but maybe. So they should all be tightened fully up, I would think. And then we've got that slip plate. Oh, yeah, it does actually. I never even noticed that before. That's how slack I am. Oh yeah, it just turns, so that's cool. So you can go from clock to swing around a radio. Yeah, I thought it must have something like that. So yeah, that's literally it. You swing it from one thing to another. What a weird design in many ways, but at least you get a decent sized radio dial out of it, I guess. Yeah, otherwise you'd have a clock radio as long as the 2-bit switch isn't that far off a normal one anyway. Yeah, I don't know if that's more annoying or not, but it's certainly different. Yeah, I think it's kind of good, and if you know where the knobs are anyway, you could just grab it by the side. Same with these ones from the front. And we can flick that around and set it. What's the other one do? Oh, that's the alarm, setting the other dial there. Let's not even put it on 1 AM as a clock radio I'm never going to use, because there's nothing worse than that going off in the middle of the night. Yep, so that's our flip clock. I guess I should really go right through it and make sure it's all there, but did that just flip over? I could have sworn we should have gone to 6. Oh, actually, I think a lot of these flip on the half hour, don't they? Yeah, so it goes to a second 6 at around 26 minutes. I just saw it try to flick and I thought, oh, it's not working, but yeah, 7:20. Oh, 7:25 before it even goes right over to 26. We've flicked to a second 7. Oh, hang on, did the 8 just... What the hell happened there? The 8 came in early. Oh god, don't tell me it's got a problem. I would have thought it is 8:26. Oh god, don't tell me the hour flicks. I hope it doesn't do that. That did too, look at that. We've got a 9 at 55. Okay, I'm going to have to test this out now. Ooh, something weird's going on. The actual whole bit's rotating weirdly. Oh, I went too far. No, it's come right now. It was leaning forward a bit. Oh, it's doing it again. It's leaning forward. Okay, I'm gonna plug it in and see what happens. So we're on 1054. And this can be a problem with these clocks, is if you don't test every little thing, but we've actually got the top part of the numbers, the whole thing's kind of falling forward at the moment. Oh yeah, it went to 11. Oh, it didn't even change the 54, it just changed the hour. Well, that is not a good sign. We just went from 10:54 to 11:54. The 54s are all sort of tilted. I think the whole thing's, the bottom's tilted in and the top's tilted out. So maybe there's more to this faulty than I first thought. Okay, gave this thing a run for a few days, and basically it seems to keep time fine, but it still has that issue of, yeah, when we get to the end of the hour, this is where I just tested it last time. A few minutes, oh, went past it, didn't I? A few minutes before, around 53 or something. Yeah, there you go. It changes the hour, which is rather confusing. And then it flips through them and goes, stays on the same hour. I did get a picture of it at one stage. It just like a whole bunch of pieces just sort of hung over. Not sure if it was at that 50-minute thing, it might have been. But it does look rather good at night when it's lit up. I think you're sort of meant to look at it like that. I did find the brochure for it, so I'll put that on the end of the video. But yeah, quite a cool looking unit. It's a lot wider in the brochure is the one thing I noticed. I knew this was a little bit yellowed, but this is kind of cream coloured. It should be actually a bright white. I guess more like that. It's not that bright a white in a way, but certainly better than it is now. So maybe all of it's slightly yellowed over time. In the brochure it looks like a really almost cold white colour, more like ceiling paint or something, kind of bright white, not this creamy colour at all. But I think we'll put it into retirement for now until I've got some room for it. I'll put it on display somewhere, but I don't think I'll bother actually running the thing anyway. Might have to have a look at the Flip Clock fans page and see if he's come across that fault, because he's about the only person that knows a lot about these things online, I think. So he may have come across this type of mechanism flipping over early. I really don't want to pull the thing apart if I can help it. Not sure what it really be. Might actually be something worn in there or something, who knows. But be interested to see if anyone else has had this problem before I go and tackle trying to repair the mech in it. But they're not really something you can pull apart and put back together in a hurry, I don't think. Maybe they're simpler than they look, but possibly you can move those whole two big pieces off the shaft they're on, or the one with the hours, the one with the minutes, and move them as an intact unit, because you definitely don't want to get to the point of the little pieces coming out and stuff. But that might be a job for another day, or maybe I'll never bother. But yeah, certainly one of the cooler looking flip clocks out there. About the only other cooler one than this is probably the one with the JVC video sphere, or whatever they call it, the round little 5-inch black and white TV built on top of it. So it's really a TV with a flip clock, more than a flip clock. And I guess this is technically a clock radio rather than just a clock. But quite a cool unit. Never saw one in the real world before. This is sort of something you see on eBay and that's about it. I guess someone must have bought them back in the day. But that's that one for now, so thanks for watching.